Hello, you all. This is AnitaN, the Biz Coach. And look, I am coming to you with all things grants. Y'all know how I love to do it. I want you to be as knowledgeable and have the resources that you need to provide the services, the products, the programs, the everything that you're doing in your communities, right? So that is what I'm here for. So today, what I decided to do is talk a little bit about funding in other countries, right? I have people asking me all the time from like my Facebook groups to, reach when they find me on social media or the internet or whatever. And people are all over the world, you guys, doing all these awesome things, and they need money too to do the things they're trying to do in their areas or whatever, their regions, right? So what I wanted to do today was to share some information about some funding for other countries. And in particular, I looked up funding in Africa because I have a lot of people that reach out to me from that country and they're doing things there and they need funding just like the people here in the US, right? So I found the actual information first and I made a little document, but this is the actual website of the grant that I'll be showing you all today. Just a little bit. I'm not going to go over everything on it, but I wanted to at least show you this resource. So this is the Open Society Initiative for Eastern Africa. So it would be for the Eastern region of Africa. And it tells, you can go in here and look in to see what regions, what areas that consists of. I'm sure if you're familiar with that country, you already know what's considered to be Eastern Africa. But the thing is, sometimes even if it's a certain region, it may not cover all of the, areas within that region, right? So this is the website where you can get more information on this grant. It talks, about who they are, what they do, what they fund. And they say they are given in form of grants. So they, support communities that says are best placed to speak for themselves. Funds are given in form of grants to empower communities to speak in their own voices. The OSIEA is a flexible grant maker that uses a wide range of grant making approaches and modalities. So it says it prioritizes grants to local, national, or regional organizations. So you have to be established as an organization. It says in exceptional cases, they will fund international organizations when they have a unique contribution to the Eastern African region, or they are actively transferring knowledge or skills to in-country actors. Okay. So it goes into a little bit more detail here. It says their priority areas. This is very important to know because if they don't fund things that you do, then there's no need to look any further, like I tell you all the time, right? So you have one of their priority areas is the democratic governance and rule of law, equality and non-discrimination, economic governance, and health and rights. All right, so it says most of the focus, and I'm going down to this, I'm not going to read everything, of course, but I want to go down to this so you all can see what I mean when I say certain regions. I mean certain areas within regions. So it says must focus on the 6 countries in which we work: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Sudan, and South Sudan. So you have to be in those areas, all right? Says we do not fund travel to attend, workshops and conferences and things of that nature. We do not provide scholarships for individual studies. So this gives you a little, eligibility criteria for what this grant and this organization, what they fund, right? So you can download, it says download and complete the grant application concept and submit to that email address. Please note that the submissions of the concept does not guarantee funding. The concept note will be reviewed and should it be accepted, you will be requested to submit a proposal that might be considered for funding. So I'm gonna stop right there. This is good information to know. So what they call a concept note may be the same thing that we sometimes call a letter of interest, a letter of intent, or LOI, like I said, letter of interest or intent or something like that. So they're calling it the concept note. All right. So what organizations do a lot of times is, because they receive hundreds upon hundreds of applications all the time, they don't have time to do all of that, right? So they want to just see, first of all, are you qualified? What kind of concepts do you have? What is your concept? What is your idea? What is your project, your program, your product, your service, whatever it is that you're offering? They want to see first, does that meet their criteria? Does it satisfy some of part of their mission as well? So they will ask you to submit these things first. It's like an introductory, right? You submit that. If they say, wow, this sounds like something awesome that we would love to partner with and be a part of, let's give them the opportunity to put in a full, proposal application now for this grant funding. That's what this is saying. So this is the first step, right, for you to see if you're qualified. So here is more information on that. I'm not going to read over all of it, just going to kind of skim it, you all. And all I did was clicked on the download this form, and it's telling me, some good information here. It has a link, of course, back to the website. And the concept should not exceed 500 to 750 words. So you got to get all that meat in there. That's all of this stuff you got to talk about with no more than 750 words. That can be hard sometimes. It might sound like a lot of words, but when you're trying to describe something that you're trying to do, check this out, what it says here: a short description of your project or initiative for which you are seeking funding, your background, the background of it, the problem that you're trying to solve, your project seeks to address, the rationale for the project. So the proof of that is needed. Okay, what is a rationale? What you're offering is going to work. All right, so what is, when they say that, that's what they're meaning. So you got to state what the problem is. You got to give some background information. That means you have already done your homework. You've already done your research. You have your data. You have some statistics. You got your numbers, your percentages. You know how much of whatever is whatever, affecting whoever your target population in this particular region, and these are the things that are happening, and this is what we want to do to solve that, right? So I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's your project description. Then you have to go on to your category, what category you think you fall within, all right? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. You can go here to that website to see what the areas are. Then it says you have to talk about your project goals and objectives. So state the overall goal and at least 3 objectives that your project or initiative seeks to achieve. So you have your goal, right? That's your first thing. We want to decrease by such and such percent. All right. So how are you going to do that? Objective 1. We will reach out to these organizations and have these particular target populations sign up to our program. We will, hold information sessions and we will have classes, Those are your 3 objectives, right? Up under each one of your goals. Or what they're saying is you have to have at least 1 goal, all right, and at least 3 objectives. Okay, so moving on, I'm not going to go over all of this, like I said, but this is some good stuff to be able to look at and review and understand a little bit better. Expected results indicate the changes and results likely to be recognized as a result of the project. So this is basically asking you, what are your outcomes? Have you ever heard this word when you're writing grants for nonprofits and stuff, you hear outcomes. What do you expect the outcome to be? Well, if we wanted to decrease the amount of teen pregnancies or dropout rate of teen moms in these schools in these particular areas and regions, then this is what we expect. When we implement our program, we expect this to happen. We expect it to decrease by 10%, and show, how you have done that before and it has happened maybe in a smaller region. So now you're trying to expand. So you need their help, with funding to be able to do that. All right. So you need to have what you expect your results to be. We expect that less teen moms, at least 10% of teen moms will now graduate high school, will finish their primary education once they complete our project or our program that we're implementing. All right, you got to talk about your duration. So state the time period for which the project will be implemented. When I've talked about in the past, your timeline, that's what your timeline is. Okay, in January 2023, we're going to implement this. We're going to do the signups by, February 2023, we're going to start the classes by, I'm just giving a tidbits. It's going to be much deeper than that, but you get what I'm saying. You got to create that timeline so they can see the duration of how long you think your project is going to last and what you're going to do each month, each step of the way, right? And of course, your estimated costs. So give overall cost of the project. So sometimes with this, but this is just their concept note is what they're calling it. So sometimes with this, they will ask you, number one, like this says here, the overall cost of the project, right? So maybe your project is going to cost $50,000, right? But maybe you're only asking them for 25 of it. Okay. And they'll ask you to break that down sometimes. But this one looks like they want to know the overall cost of the project. So they'll know kind of what you need and they can determine from that, okay, do we need to be able to get into this? Or are we going to be able to help them at all? They need a lot of money and we don't have that much, right? So that's why they're asking that question like that. Okay. Good stuff, you all. I'm gonna stop sharing now. Awesome. So just to answer the question, I have people saying all the time, like I said, from these other regions, countries and stuff, there's no funding. Is there any funding for this country? Is there any funding for that country? Yes, it is. You just have to know where to go. You just have to know how to look for it and those things, right? So just to just prove that it's out there. You just got to know what to do and how to find it. All right. And that is what I'm here for. I am here to help you all, through those different processes. So now, speaking of which, in the month of December, I have some specials going on. And one of those specials is my $99 per month, helping you through one process. So let's say, for instance, if you're at the process, okay, well, I've been doing all these wonderful things. I've been doing all these wonderful things in the community, but I don't have my nonprofit status. Well, to be able to really qualify for the funding that you're going to probably need, you're going to need to get, set up and structured as a nonprofit. That is one of the things that I help people do. I can help you get your nonprofit status, do some of those steps and things for you. So that could be the one thing that I do for you for that 3-month period, right? So the special is that you have to sign up for in the month of December and you receive the services for January, February, and March of 2023. So that can get you a great head start for the new year. Get your organization established, and then hopefully within the time frame, within 3 months, we would have you established as a nonprofit, and we can start putting some things in place for you to start getting grant ready. All right. Remember, there's a process for that as well. Okay. So, we could continue our work with that until that time frame is over with. And then if you desire to continue to work with me, we can look at that at the end of that 3 months. All right. So just a little information about some of the specials, the holiday specials that I have going on right now. $99 a month to get your one thing done. Let me tell you, you can't beat that with a stick. Y'all know what I say. My grandmama used to say all the time. So it is awesome to always be here to share this valuable information with you all. Please make sure you follow me, like me, and subscribe to AnitaN, the Biz Coach, on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And I look forward again to see you all soon. So until then, take care and God bless.